Thank you very much for the presentation, and now we're going to continue with our agenda. This is the segment where we're going to start talking with our clients so they can share with us some of their cases, some of the situations they faced, and how working with Rackspace they were able to solve this. So they can tell us a little bit more about the experience that they had working with Rackspace. So we're going to first call up to the stage Six Flags. Many of you know them, especially if you have kids. Six Flags has the biggest number of amusement parks around the world. And they start with a challenge on peaks in their web pages, starting in those seasons, holiday seasons, and they were facing these peaks, and they were having problems in their websites. So they, together with Rackspace, decided that they were going to start working on a solution on dedicated web servers. And with this hybrid cloud solution, they now have the Six Flags websites running. Before presenting them, I would like for you to see a video.
Rackspace has a mission to be one of the best managed hosting environments in the world, and they clearly are. We've seen that, we experience that every day when we work with them. Having that mission and focus is something that we've seen as a corporation help us grow. The difference between cloud and dedicated is that the infrastructure and the metal that we put our applications on top of in the dedicated world is ours, and is something that we have full control of. We don't have to worry about quote-unquote noisy neighbors, and it's something that we are understanding that if our applications and our development of resources is placed on that server, we own all of that infrastructure. We were going into the Labor Day weekend with an anticipation of a large amount of traffic coming to our website. When we worked with Rackspace, they understood that they would be able to put our site into kind of a high alert, both from a notification and internal perspective, but also just to help us understand how to scale it. It's nice to know that I can turn to my lead tech and say, I have a problem that needs to be solved with a tremendous amount of data storage in a very short time period, and then we're going to get rid of it. They come back to me with a solution that it makes economical sense and then also is able to scale and get set up super quick. We knew the level of service and support was exceptional. I have one of the best account teams I've ever had in all my years. The focus is just dead on. They're with me all the time. We absolutely love Rackspace.
Muy bien, sin más, tengo el gusto de presentarles al director de servicios interactivos de Six Flags Entertainment, el señor Sean Andersen. Sean, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Buenos dias, all. Thank you very much. This is what I hear is a very large Rackspace Solve event. I've been to a couple of Solve events in the past, and you're going to learn a lot today. You might not learn a lot from me or what not to do with me, but you're going to learn a lot, so stay in there and you're gonna see some fun stuff. But enough of that. I would like to talk a little bit about Six Flags. So Six Flags, we have a park right here. It's one of our finest parks, Six Flags Mexico, and if you have an opportunity, I encourage you to go visit it. It is an absolute beautiful park. It has won internal awards for the finest and the best park, and it is the most incredible experience. So I encourage you all to visit that park. But if you can't visit it, we have many more parks that are expanding. We have a new water park actually just announced here in Mexico. We have a planned park coming up in Dubai and another planned park coming up in Shanghai. And finally, the last one, just 2 weeks ago, we announced a new park in Thailand. So we're growing quite a bit. One of the things with the Six Flags you might not know is we are considered the world's largest regional theme park. And it's because of that regional, we need to bring a lot of consistency to all of our parks. So let me introduce a little bit about Six Flags for the people who have not been there before, and I will bring the park to you with this video. love that video. I work in New York City, and I have an office right in the middle. My theme park experience is going through Grand Central. My roller coaster experience is going onto the subway. So I don't get to see the parks that often, but my children drag me out. But really, I dragged them out, and we go to the parks, and we really have a great time. So what do I do for Six Flags? I drive revenue through digital properties. And what does that mean? So right now, I'm working on a couple of projects. There's 3 major projects we've been doing. The last one and the most recent is mobile, doing a mobile application for both iOS and Android, bringing the most important guest, which is what we call our pass holder. A pass holder is a guest who buys a season pass, is either paying for it once a year or they're paying for it every month. Those are our most valued customers. They get to come back to the park multiple times, and we enjoy them, and they enjoy the park, and they bring that to their friends. So we designed the app for them, and consequently, more people wanted to have that experience. So we're working on version 2 in the next couple of months, and it will introduce mapping. We're going to be introducing native commerce abilities. So kind of think of it like Uber for the park. You'll be able to make a purchase, not have to wait in line, run to the front of the line. So basically improving that. So that's my most recent project. The middle project for time purposes is a digital out-of-home network. Think of it as TVs while you wait in the queue line for your ride. It's a great opportunity for us to help entertain the guests, let them pass the time, and it also helps us from a revenue perspective. We work with partners and advertisers, and we receive a tremendous amount of revenue from those impressions that we put on that network. Finally, and why we're here today is for sixflags.com, sixflags.com.mx. And these properties, about 9 years ago, I came to Six Flags to help and drive and move that website from a small $50 million a year property to integrate a new e-commerce provider, to integrate a new content management tool, and integrate a company called Rackspace. And we needed to bring all of these together and quickly. And we were able to do that in a very short time, and the site has grown quite a bit. We check in with Rackspace very periodically. We look at the architecture and improve on it. Every 2 years, we scrap the architecture and start a new one. We test little things along the way. We tried cloud. We tried the cloud. We added dedicated. We moved from Windows to Linux. We try different aspects, see which one works, and we, most importantly, rely on Rackspace to help and advise us. What are the best practices? What have they seen? What will scale? And these are really important because what we also like to do is create consistency. The only way we can scale is to have a consistent infrastructure. Internally, inside of our Six Flags data centers, we run NetApp for our data. We run VMware for our virtual machines and Alert Logic. We also do that at Rackspace. And that's critical because we bring our knowledge to the table, and they can bring their knowledge, and we find a happy hybrid solution. So we can take applications that we're working on internally and move them up to Rackspace. Our e-commerce, as I said, started at 50 million 9 years ago. Last year, we just came shy of 500 million. And my 10th year, I'm hoping to break over the 500 million for the year. This is a big achievement, and it is all based on having good partners, like companies like Rackspace, good partners like our e-commerce provider. And you remember, we have a very small window where we can gain that revenue. We have 6 months during the year where our site has to perform. And if it doesn't, we do not receive the revenue. We do not see the guest satisfactions. We do not see the guests getting their information about when is the park open, how can I add a ticket, how can I buy a meal pass. So it's critical to keep us running during that small time period. Then along comes a promotion where we decide during one of our busiest days, we're going to run a flash sale. That flash sale adds additional traffic to our website, because everybody wants to buy a pass at the lowest rate of the year. So not only do we have normal heavy traffic for the website, but we now have a crush of people coming in. That was September 5th. And I remember that day because my phone was blowing up. I pulled it out of my pocket, and I immediately saw our website was down. I took a deep breath. I made one phone call to Rackspace. They picked up. They asked me my security questions. That same person then asked, "How can we help you?" I quickly explained what was going on. The engineer looked on the servers. She did not transfer me. That same person who asked my security questions, who asked me what's going on, jumped on the servers to diagnose the problem. She did not only diagnose the problem, but she also helped correct it and give us a temporary patch. And we realized it was a configuration problem. What we had done weeks and weeks earlier when the traffic was low, we thought, oh, maybe this will help improve the performance of some PDF files or some caching. We work with a system called Drupal. And Drupal is a great content management tool, but it has lots of knobs and dials, but if you don't configure them just right, you can force your traffic from your cache right down to the application servers, and you can crush them. And that's what ended up happening. Well, she was right there. She identified it. We took a big step back, and we said, what else is wrong? Our account team was amazing. They jumped right in. Our lead tech went through all the virtual machines, made sure everything was tuned properly, because we still had 4 more days to go. And the traffic was only going to get higher. And the traffic did. And we were sustaining concurrent traffic at around 8,500 users every second of the day. Now, granted, at 3 o'clock in the morning, it dipped a little bit, but it rose right back up there. And on that 5th day, we broke over 9,000 concurrent users, all hitting the site to buy tickets. We pulled in over $30 million that 5 days. And we were able to turn a real negative to a positive. We not only had to look at the servers to say, how do we tune them? Look at the network stack, how do we improve that? But instead of having to throw more servers at it, buy more virtual machines, throw more metal at it, our team looked at the problem, tuned it properly, and helped us succeed. By that 5th day, our site was cruising. You could go to the website, and it just popped right up, and it was beautiful. So we took those lessons, and we brought them over to our marketing team, and we continue those through. And I have 3 little lessons I can share with you today. And the first, and you've heard me say this many times, is consistency. Consistency is important not only in the architecture, but also in how you do your development. And we learned that the very hard way. So we're now bringing consistency from our development, our stage, to our production. Consistency also helps when our internal teams know the architecture. If our internal teams understand the VMware, they're able to help and participate in the discussions with the future architecture, so that when we move our applications from inside up to Rackspace, they move easily and seamlessly. Use your valleys to test your peaks. And this is an interesting one, because had we have done this, we could have solved that problem. We saw a huge spike, but you also have to realize our website traffic is, I know it's bad, it's like a roller coaster, right? So our traffic right now in January and February and March is slow, and it picks up gradually around June, July. It's at its peak, and then it drops back down, and then it comes right back up again in October. We need to be testing our site under heavy load, and we can do that with the dedicated infrastructure. We can throw heavy bandwidth at it and no problem. So find your valleys. Find your time periods where it's 3 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody on the site. Throw traffic at it. Make sure it's tested. Make sure when you change configurations, you're throwing load at it as well. And test other parameters that are important to you. And finally, the most important is push your vendors. We do this not only for Rackspace, but for all of our partners. A vendor is a vendor, but when somebody is able to listen, to work with us, to take back that information and come up with a solution later on and deliver it to us, and then stay with us during those hard times, that is a partner. So we push them as much as they push us. So that's very, very critical. So those are our 3 takeaways for today. I hope you enjoy a little bit about Six Flags. Please visit the parks. And thank you for letting me relive my 5 days of complete stress. But it's actually in those stressful time periods that you do find your true partners and the friends and people that make your company stronger. Thank you very much.